Okay, here's the gist. A woman shared that her mother-in-law has been demanding that she give back her family heirloom wedding ring because she can't have children due to high-risk pregnancy. So the mother-in-law has said, you need to give it back because this ring was meant to be handed down to a grandchild. Now the woman and her husband, they refused to give it back, and so now the relationship has become strained. So this was posted in Reddit, and some of the comments suggested like, you should just stand your ground, keep the ring, cut off contact with your mother-in-law, she's being unreasonable. Other people say pawn the ring, get the money, get yourself a better ring. Other people say you should keep the piece and just give the ring back and like move on. Here's my take. If you and your husband are deeply connected to this ring, it holds significant sentimental value for your marriage because it's where you started off, then keep it. But instead of stepping back, limiting contact, or, just cutting her off, this is what I suggest. Your husband should set a very firm boundary with his mom, making it clear that you're done having this conversation. Like, we will not talk about the ring anymore. He can say something like, we're not discussing the ring anymore. It was a gift. And that's the end of it. Now, if you're at a gathering and she pulls you aside and she tries to push that boundary and bring it up again, you can mind your boundary by calmly saying, Susan, we're not discussing the ring any longer. Then shift the subject. You could ask her, hey, does your drink need a refill? Step into the kitchen, excuse yourself from the conversation. If things turn hostile, you can politely excuse yourself, leave the event early, or if you're the host, you can ask her to leave. This approach keeps things respectful while reinforcing your boundary. And remember, boundaries are not about making other people change their behavior, right? That's a request. A boundary is all within your control. So if you set a boundary, it is something you can take specific action on to mind that limit, like asking her to leave, leaving the event early, whatever you have to do to protect your peace and keep yourself balanced. Looking back at this situation, it could have been completely avoided if terms around the ring would have been clearly communicated right from the start. Like, they could have said, hey, we're giving you this as a very meaningful gift, but it needs to stay in the family. So if by chance you don't have kids, you choose not to, you struggle to have kids, whatever, then we will need to swap it out. That would have set clear expectations right from the start. So if you are in a similar situation, you have a heirloom ring or piece of jewelry and you want it to be passed down through generations and they just stop making babies, you could potentially lay that out there so that they know what the expectation, by accepting this gift, they know the expectation of it. I don't know. That is just how I would handle it. What do you think? Like, would you keep the ring because it is so sentimental and you started your marriage that way and said your vows with it? Or would it just like weigh you down with all the baggage and the drama? Like, what would you do?